YouTube? What's good? It's your boy Kim Moneyback. Back with another video. Let's get it. So, one topic I wanted to speak on, kind of low on time right now too though, but one topic I wanted to speak on was, the fear of success. So, with me thinking about this topic, I think about a lot of things I want to do in life, but a lot of times it's that fear of knowing the next step is coming. And what I mean by that is, we already know that it's never really like an end goal. Don't get me wrong, we all want to reach, certain levels in life. We all want to attain a certain goal, but there's always a next step by the next step by the next step that kind of puts us in this box. So, this fear of mindset that creates this scarcity as to, we don't know if we'll have, the confidence, or we don't know what the next goal will obtain. And, we all go through this because we get that sense of urgency to do better. We get that sense of urgency, to sit up here and want to make something happen. But then, we sit up here, we double back, or, we double back on our old thoughts, our insecurities, and we think about reasons as to why things wouldn't go good. But, I learned that a lot of times once you really just push through it and just tend to do what you got to do, everything be good. It's just that, that initial first thought of, what am I going to do? How am I going to prepare? What other people going to think? That tend to really gets in the way a lot of times. And I feel as though, that's one of the greatest process to go through, as to when it comes to getting on your journey. Because I'm not saying that, it's something healthy, but I feel as though with those feelings and those emotions, as long as you don't dwell on it, as long as you don't sit up here, think like, I can't do this or I can't do that for too long, everything could be good. Because, like, when it came to me doing a lot of things, like, a lot of people know, like, I make these, like, I make a lot of these oils. So what I do is, like, sometimes I buy a lot of the big bottles of the Muslim oils. I buy a lot of empty containers and I batch them. But, me starting off doing that, I had a lot of thoughts of, like, okay, they smell good, but what about when they come to putting them out? What about when they come to introducing them to people, It was that fear of success, like, yo, what if this actually work? I know I'm going to have a big responsibility. I'm going to have to, keep making more batches. I know a lot of people are going to be looking forward to these smells. I know I can't keep making the same smells forever. I know I got to understand, the concentration of the smell. Some people may want a little more here. Some people may want a little less here. So it's a lot of things I got to learn. And, when all that tallies up in your head, it kind of creates this thought of, like, am I ready for this? But I learned that when it just comes to pushing through and, executing, no matter how you feel, that's one of the best things you can do. Because I learned that a lot of things I wanted to do in life, there's no excuses about it. When it comes, like you say, like to working overtime at my job, to get a little more money, to, like, say, to pay my phone bill, or to sit up here, have money to go out. For me, I like to go to the amusement park with my guys, or I like to go to the movies, I like to go to the mall. So for me to be able to cover those expenses and, not be backed up, let's say, when it comes to rent, or, not have $0 in my bank account, So I realized that it's always the next goal after next goal. It's always that next step. It's like, okay, I'm sitting up here and work overtime, but if I want a little more money, I'm going to have to work a little more overtime. If I want a little more money, I have to work a little more overtime. Then I'm not going to keep working overtime. I'm going to work myself up to find a different position. I pay a little more. So the amount of money I'm making overtime, I can make that at the base at my next job. And then when I work overtime for my next job, I had 2-3 times more. You get what I'm saying? So, like, it's always that next step. It's like a never-ending cycle. And after a while, you start to understand that, it's not a bad thing. It teaches you more responsibility. It teaches you more discipline. It teaches you how to be quick. It teaches you how to be on your toes more. It's really just teaching you, how to be a better person, overall. And after a while, I stopped looking at it as, something that, was, how can I say it? Something that, wouldn't benefit me. Because, I feel as though after a while, going through all those emotions, I thought about it like, emotions come and go. One day you may feel like you don't want to do something, let's say 2 to 3 days, then the next 2, 3, 4 days, we motivated like, it's no other. Like, we want to get up, everything seems good, we're in a happy mood, but then when them days come, we're not as energized. Let's say one day you wake up with a headache, you wake up in a bad mood, where you wake up just not feeling like, that happy sense of joy feeling, that you used to always feel. It's still best to, give your all, give you 100%, Some days, it may be days where, like, you don't want to do anything. You want to get up out the bed, and it's like, I don't really feel like, recording this. I don't feel like, designing this. I don't feel like speaking on this topic, but, I feel as though all those internal emotions really just set you up, to test to see, what you're gonna actually do with everything. Are you gonna let the emotions stop you? Are you gonna sit up and make excuses just because you're tired? Because I learned that, when it comes to things that we really care about, we do it through any emotion, no matter really how we feel. But then when it comes to a lot of things that, I can say, like, we don't want to do, or that we're scared of, or that we get kind of lazy on, that's where the excuses come in. Because, a That's like, you know, if your job was to tell you, like, you know, if you don't come in tomorrow, you know, you're going to get fired, you know. Let's say you've been absent a lot of times, or, you know, if you come in late one more time, you're going to get fired. Don't get me wrong, you may feel all those emotions of, you know, wow, I can almost get fired, you know, how could the job do this to me, you know, I've been here for a while, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure you're up on time. At the end of the day, you want to make sure, you know, rather you set 2 to 3 alarms, you're going to make sure you catch the earliest bus, or, you know, you're going to make sure you call your Uber on time, or if you walk there, you know, you're gonna make sure you get up a little bit early. You know, all them emotions gonna get put to the side because you're waking up with a deeper purpose now. You know, like, okay, this is my bread and butter for the moment, or, you know, this is what I use to take care of my kids. You know, this is what I'm gonna use to pay my rent. You know, or if I don't have this, you know, I won't have any money for the month. You know, it's gonna be something that's gonna push you. That's gonna say, all right, I'm gonna put all the cards to, you know, I'm gonna put all the cards to the edge of the table. You know, I gotta get up and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. You know, you don't care about your emotion, you don't care how tired you are, you'll go get a 5-hour energy, you know, you'll go sit up here and, you know, you'll do anything, you know, make sure you get up on time. So that's what I'm saying. So, like, even though when it comes to the fear of success, though, a lot of times, you know, it could be things that, you know, we scared of because we know it's the next step, or sometimes, you know, things that we sit up here and procrastinate on, we just don't want to do. So, like, you know, it's kind of hand to hand. But, you know, with the fear of success, it's just in the sense of we don't trust ourselves in the situation. Like, you know, especially if it's something new to us. It's like, I've never done this, you know, can I trust myself to think fast on my feet? Can I trust myself, you know, think I can get this done? But to be honest, though, it's not even about, you know, actually getting a certain outcome. It's just about putting yourself through the fire, you know, putting yourself through that emotional battle or that mental battle, just to, you know, tell yourself that, you know, I got this. Or in any situation, I can take it head on, you know, no matter how I feel, no matter what I know, or I'm going to use what I know to my advantage, you know. So you can sit up here and say that, you know, I might not know, you know, what is a good example I can say? You know, you may sit up here, you be like, you know, I may not know how to draw, you know. So a lot of people may sit up here and start out with stick figures. You may sit up here and start out with stick figures, but imagine it as the thing you really want to draw. So, you know, in your head, once you're looking at that stick figure, other people may be like, oh, hell no. But you're looking at the stick figure as, you know, the $1 million portrait that you know you want to create one day, or, you know, the $1 million portrait that's in the museum. But, you know, you started off with that mindset. But, you know, that fear of success might have been, you know, I know people are going to judge this. I know people are going to sit up here and criticize this. I know this not going to be, you know, in the charts or whatever, or, you know, like, it's whatever you want to get into, though. It's always that fear of, you know, I know it's the next step. I know I gotta practice more. I know more gonna come to me. And, you know, once you start, you know, reaching more people and people start connecting with you, it comes the bigger responsibility. You know, come more phone calls, more meetings. You know, it come more advice and information you gotta give. It come, you know, the people who wanna, you know, be like you in a sense, or, you know, want some advice on how to start their own business or start their own journey. Now they want you to break that down step by step. People want to pay you. So now, you know, people, you know, valuing your time, you know, then, you know, you gotta value their time because they paying you. So, you know, it's a lot. But, you know, I feel as though it's good for me to understand this because now I'm aware. So it's like a lot of the stuff I do, you know, it's like I won't be delusional about it. I won't sit up here and wonder why is this happening, why is that happening, because now I have a clear indicator. Because, you know, the only reason I'm sitting up here and not doing what I gotta do is, you know, because I'm scared that, you know, if I take this next step, it'll be another next step. Or, you know, that if I actually get this step done, you know, I gotta kind of, you know, work harder, you know, to not double back and go back to where I was at square one. So that's the only thing that, you know, comes into play with that. But it's not a bad thing, though. So I feel as though as long as I'm expanding my mind and thinking outside the box and not thinking so surface level, that a lot of things that click to me more, which they have, though, you know. The more I've been thinking deeply, the more, you know, I've been diving into everything. I learned that, you know, not everything, you know, has to be controlled by, not everything has to be controlled by emotions. And, you know, not at all, though. Not just to sit up here, you know, go off your emotions and sit up here and think that, you know, I should only do things when I'm feeling good, or I shouldn't do this because I'm tired. Because, you know, them days that, you know, we get up out of bed when we're tired, or them days that, you know, we got, like, I could say, like, you know, them little days where we're not feeling as good. Things may be going on, or life may not be going as great at the moment. You know, the fact that you still get up and do what you gotta do, or you get your stuff done, you feel 10 times better because you didn't let, you know, external things stop you. Things that people were saying, you know, things that may not happen, that made you feel the type of way, you still got up and did what you needed to do. That's my video, y'all. I gotta go. Love y'all. Get money back.